It's law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics night here at McMorran Place in the heart of historic downtown Port Huron. I am your masked host for tonight's game as the Prowlers and Sentinels wrap up a 3-game week. Port Huron won the first 2 games, both in overtime, their first 2 overtime games of the season. Now, this is the last game for both of these teams for a couple of weeks. Neither of them will play again until January the 16th, getting next weekend off for some rest and some recovery. We know the Prowlers certainly need it with 4 guys who've been unavailable for the past few weeks at least. But we'll see which side can come out on top and go into that break with a little bit of momentum. Of course, it is a masquerade party here at McMorran Place for the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics night. And fans will have a lot of fun here for this party. We hope you'll enjoy this one on the PHP Network. Well, the pregame show for you coming up next. Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorran experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
On Prowlers hockey. It's presented shot. Welcome back here to McMorran Place. Fans getting ready to go for this Saturday night matchup between the Prowlers and the Sentinels. Well, let's take a look back at what happened last night between the Prowlers and the Sentinels. An OT win for Port Huron as we take a look at the highlights. And it started with a bang. Fisticuffs right off the opening drop between Ethan Esposito and Brett Morick. And a nice little tilt there. As you see Morick able to pull Esposito's jersey up over his head at the end of that fight. That caused issues for Esposito as he's supposed to have that jersey tied down. He did not, so he was out of the game 3 seconds in. But the Sentinels were able to take a 3-1 lead despite that. That was Dalton Anderson's second of the second period. Prowlers had not won a game when trailing through 40 minutes of play this season, but Brian Parsons floated one through for Connor Bazal to tip home early in the third, less than 3 minutes in. It was reviewed for a high stick. The goal stood. A 1-goal game. And then on a Prowlers power play, Bobby Price able to poke this one in. And it was all tied up as Port Huron made the 2-goal comeback. And then in overtime, Nick Favaro, following up a Blake Anderson shot, completed the extra point for the Prowlers. And Port Huron celebrated in front of its largest crowd of the season, just under 2,000 people here at McMorran Place. Prowlers eating the W on that Friday night. And we take a look at the box score, 4-3 the final for Port Huron. First win for the Prowlers when trailing after 40 minutes this season. Meanwhile, the Sentinels were held to no shots on net over the 2 overtime games against the Prowlers so far this week. Brian Parsons got his first goal of the year and also added that assist that we saw on that highlight reel. Let's take a look at where this places the teams in the standings as you see the awesome on-ice graphics here at McMorran Place. Prowlers still ahead of Topeka, but that gap is ever closing as the Scarecrows now just 8 points behind the Prowlers and things getting really tight down near the bottom. Sentinels still not out of it. They are just 9 points away from the Bobcats and Wolves. Hat-tricks 1 point back of those two, and all 3 of those teams, or 2 of those teams lost last night. The Wolves got the win to jump up to 5th. Take a look at some players to watch for this one. And we start on the Indiana side as we go with Theo Rowell, who is the new signing today. Played for the Motor City Rockers last season, 13 games, 1 assist. He began this year with the Michigan Shadow semi-pro team in the MIHL. On the other side for the Prowlers, Blake Anderson has been red hot this season. Over his last 6 games, 10 points on 3 goals and 7 assists. Last night, 2 helpers, including on the game-tying goal and the game-winning goal. Prowlers going with the exact same lineup tonight as they had. The only difference in between the pipes, Reed Cooper comes in. Bailey Huber will back up in tonight's game. Let's take you down to ice level for the rest of tonight's pregame ceremonies.
Equipment managers Brian Larson and Ken Fall. Welcome to the Ice, Michigan Department of Corrections Honor Guard, Kevin Smith, Brandon Wenzel, Angela Chomich, and Kaywan Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, and gentlemen, may we suggest removing your caps as we honor America and salute the men and women serving our country with the singing of our national anthem, presented by Derek Ling by Mike Batchelor. We remind all members of the armed forces and veterans who are present but not in uniform that you may render the military salute. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Sarah Dent.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Sarah Dent back on the anthem here tonight at McMorran Place. Prowlers and Sentinels getting set to wrap up their week. As the flags exit and both teams getting ready to go, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Prowlers here tonight. As they will be going with a different lineup tonight. Brett Morick will still be in the starting lineup, but Matt Graham and Artu Hakala, the other two forwards, different defense pairing as well. Tim Morgan, Austin Federley on the back end, and Reed Cooper between the pipes tonight for the Prowlers. It's your Orthopedic Associates starting lineup. And that brings us to the Harrison Metal Fab starting goaltending matchup. Cooper back between the pipes. He has won each of his last 4 starts, the longest such streak by a Prowlers netminder this season, as he looks for another victory. John Werber was in goal for the Sentinels on Wednesday night when the Prowlers beat them in overtime down in Indiana. Well, the Prowlers and Meyer are partnering for the Goals for Good program. For every goal the Prowlers score this season, Meyer will donate money to help families in need in our community. So far this season, the Prowlers and Meyer have helped donate over 5,000 meals to families in need. We're ready to go here at McMorran Place. Fans getting loud, and we hope you enjoy this one on the PHP Network. Last one for a couple of weeks, and we start with some pushing and shoving between Morick and Theo Rowell up there at the top of your screen. No mitts dropping off the face-off this time, as we are underway with a cross-corner dump from Austin Federley. Rowell gets his first touch as a Sentinel, put it right up to Federley, who sent the puck past the net. John Werber's water bottle is in the low slot as it came off the top of the cage. Sentinels can't work it out, so that water bottle stays there. We'll see if that ends up affecting play. Jonas Leas able to dump it into the Prowlers' end. Werber picks up his bottle and puts it back where it belongs. Austin Federley skates into the puck. Works in, throws on the brakes, and spins back. Federley down to Blake Anderson. Centering feed, try to go all the way across, either to Hakala or to Cumbus. Here comes Craig, right wing side, and his first shot swallowed up by Reed Cooper. First save of the night for Cooper, who got himself the night off last night. Bailey Huber got the start. Jamison Bork was the backup. Both Cooper and Huber dressed for tonight's game. Blake Anderson got it off for Price. Back to Anderson. Fanned on the shot. Cycled down to DeCumbus. Head up, bounces it back behind the net to Price. Popped up in the air. Price able to settle it back down. Bonovanov gets to it. Off of Craig's stick, and Werber sticks away the long-range try. Anderson in hard on the forecheck, causes a turnover. Rising shot from the goal line off of Werber's mask. Bazal swings it around up top on the far side. Lockhart right back down where it came from. Bucell for Bazal. Keeps moving up the zone. Parsons sent it through. Save Werber. Rebound. Pinballs around. Bucell pulls it out of some legs. Parsons got it back down and around again. Ponovanov slipped it out for Noah Hippolyte-Smith. And the outlet feed is for Esposito, who has already been in this game longer than he was last night's. Parsons ahead towards Lockney off his stick. Romeo Terrain takes over for Indiana. His pass missed Nolan Dawson, and we'll go all the way down for an icing. Just over 2 minutes gone in period one. Prowlers already with 3 shots on net, and hard forecheck from Blake Anderson got him a good chance, and he saw daylight above that right shoulder of Werber. Just caught him on the shoulder. Off this face-off, Graham hands it off, and it's moved right down the boards by Federley. Pazika tries to go right back up that side. Tossed out, glove down by Organ. at the red line, sends it right in on Werber. Lockney to the net and missed Graham as he tried to get a stick down to deflect it. Federley, D to D. Shot by Organ, score! Tipped in by Lockney! Early goal for the Prowlers. That's a nice wrister from the line. Lockney right in front of Werber, available. And you see him get the tip, 5-hole on John Werber. 7th of the year for Lockney. Prowlers off and running early. Nick Favaro, the OT hero last night, back for the puck in his own end as the Sentinels look for a response. Colarusso popped it out right to DeCumbis, and he hands off for Favaro. Into the offensive end, Favaro on the outside. Swung it out in front, came to DeCumbis, couldn't get to a shooting position. Johnson back down low. Colarusso ahead to Cruz. Got it over to Devon Fields. Price picks it up in the neutral zone, and in comes Blake Anderson. Poked off his stick, though. Anderson battling with Leas. Oregon and Federley get the assist, and for Austin Federley, that's the 250th point in his FPHL career. Of course, all here with the Port Huron Prowlers, his hometown club. Brett Lockhart moves the puck up the wall. Bucell ahead towards James, tried to tip it to the middle, taken away by Craig. Outside shot punched out by Cooper. Bucell and Hippolyte Smith tied up. 3 Prowlers, 2 Sentinels digging for that puck. Bucell backs out and he's replaced by Parsons. And Bucell able to dig it free. All for Bazal. Prowlers with a 3-on-2 if they hurry. James to the net, and that was partially blocked away by Ponovanov. James all the way across to Parsons. Down low it goes. Bucell tripped up by Ponovanov. Fans want a penalty they won't get. It's James popping it out to Lockney. A wrister slipped wide along the ice. Didn't get all he wanted on it, as Indiana will dump it back deep in the Prowlers' end. Parsons looking towards James. Taken back by Dawson. 4 Prowlers back. James into Sentinels territory. Terrain watched by Lockney as he swung it around towards Pazika, who has to skate back after it. Prowlers finishing their checks early. First it was Lockney, then Graham in that sequence. Here's Dawson with a steal in the offensive zone, but his centering feed cut off by Matt Graham. Head to Hakala, has Lockney with him. Hakala throws on the brakes, the shot blocked. And Dawson plays it off the near side boards and out. Favaro. Put it to an area for Johnson. Tapped ahead, Terrain. Able to settle it down, grabbed by Shane Haggerty. Pazika for Collazo, has Dawson breaking. Flipped it in that direction. Puck gloved down by Johnson. Pazika looks to start north. Instead he goes across to Colarusso. Indirect pass off the boards. Right on the stick of Dalton Anderson. He had it poked away. DeCumbis slipped neatly past a check. DeCumbis for Price to the net. He scores! Beautiful rush, and it's 2-0 Prowlers. Vinny DeCumbis slipped right past the hit, found Bobby Price, and the skill move to the forehand in tight. Bobby's got his 9th of the year, a 6-game point streak, and the Prowlers are all over the Sents early. 5 shots, 2 goals for Port Huron. Just over 6 minutes gone in the Munger physical therapy first period. Ponovanov, Pavlov, one-timer grabbed and held by Reed Cooper. We'll get to our first TV timeout, but the Prowlers already have 2 on the board. We'll take a break here on the PHP Network.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. LJ, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Hello, I'm home. There he is. What is happening? Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch? Spicy. Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite. Can you stop? Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack wrap is back.
Back here at McMorran Place, Prowlers already with a 2-0 lead. Our washed-up player of the game is Richard Colarusso, a Sentinels defenseman, presented by Chippewa Laundromat. Chippewa Laundromat is Port Huron's only multi-generational laundromat. Lucas Lockney and Bobby Price have already found the back of the net for the Prowlers. 5 different Prowlers on the score sheet as we are 7.5 minutes into period 1. Indiana trying to work off the offensive zone face-off as Hippolyte Smith centered, and it was knocked back by Johnson. Lavaro couldn't move it out. Here comes Pavlov, chased down by Price. Swung around, sent down in front, Pavlov. Couldn't find it in his skates, trying to feed back door, and Favaro picked it off. Headman feed is for Anderson, has Price joining him. To the trailer to Cumbus, Johnson! And one too many passes, a 2-on-1 the other way. Anderson hustling back to even it up. He takes Esposito, whose sharp angle try was patted away by Cooper. Pazika, watched by Blake Anderson. Reverse this way to Ashton Colazzo. Let it on for Dalton Anderson. Long range try sticked away by Cooper. Parsons for Bazal. Gave it away to Colazzo. Handoff Dawson. Turnaround try. And Cooper has it. Both teams with some good chances there in that sequence. Prowlers had numbers up ice at one point, and yeah, maybe just one too many passes on that opportunity. And here they come again. Brian Parsons skates it up the right wing. Waits to the net, shot by James, stopped by Werber. Came all the way through to Luke James, and he got a good shot off. Werber able to slide over and make the save. Prowlers are buzzing early in this game. Here they come again. Bazal lost the handle, came right to Parsons, a drive. Sticked away by Werber. Puck on the back of the net. They're able to dislodge it. Now it's underneath Luke James, who's down on the ice. Poked free, and Colazzo looks ahead. Indirect pass off the boards, taken away by Lockney. Floated high back to the Prowler end. And icing called here against Indiana. 11:31 left to go in period 1. Take another look at the chance here for Luke James. Parsons just ripped it all the way across. Hit Bazal's skate, carried right to James. And Werber sliding from left to right. Able to make a good stop on the Prowlers forward and keep it 2-0. Dawson tosses it in. Cooper sent it around behind. Lockney for Hakala. Wrapped all the way around. Oregon waits for it there. Got it back down deep. Graham centered. Hakala missed. Werber may have gone a piece. Push back up the near side boards. Haggerty got a long pass out. Partially cut off by Federley. Rowell had to come back for it. To a side scrum. Now Graham digs it out. 3 cents back as Graham tried to pass across the blue line that exited the zone. Port Huron getting 3 fresh forwards out. Federley. Back pass ends up on Anderson's tape. He's harassed by Hippolyte Smith. Oregon chasing back after the puck. Trying to get ahead to Price, cut off by Craig. Bobby Price pitchforks it all the way across his own blue line to Blake Anderson. Nice head fake on Esposito, but Anderson couldn't get it deep. Chip by Panovanov. Johnson hustling back to win the race for the puck. Anderson looking towards Price, just out of his reach. Pavlov off the near side boards. Craig waits for it. Pinballed around up in the air. Craig settles it down for Panovanov. Panovanov around to the far side. Esposito has to wait for it on the boards. He's run into by James. Pavlov around this way to Panovanov. Ahead towards Craig. Ends up on Colazzo's tape. From the outside, put it on net. Rebound was available, and Esposito couldn't put it back on goal. Pazika all the way around. Parsons and Craig tie up. Parsons wins that battle. Now Colazzo. Pass down low is picked off by Lockhart. Makes a move to the middle, does Brett Lockhart, sends Craig spinning. Lockhart still with the puck. Gets into the offensive zone. Lockhart doing it all himself. And he'll cycle it down and around, send Morick after it. Poked out of the zone, Parsons. Back for Lockhart, ahead to Lockney. By himself, he delays. Cycle for Graham fresh off the bench. Working up the boards, back out to Lockney, quick shot, just missed wide. I think Werber did get a pad on it. Tossed down to Prowler territory. Plenty of action, not too many whistles. Prowlers with a 2-0 lead. Graham makes a move at center. Try to go back towards Hakala. He and Colarusso chase after it. Haggerty had it poked away by Graham. Sent around to the near side. Fields flipped it out, but couldn't find a teammate. Haggerty comes back for it. Played it right off of Hakala, but comes to Colarusso. Now off to Cruz, and he couldn't get a shot away as he was tied up by Price. 2-on-2 rush. Price tried a toe drag, left the puck behind. Cruz dumped it in deep. Sentinels in the midst of a change. Johnson around towards Price, kept in by Esposito. Favaro chased by Hippolyte Smith, ahead to Price. Handoff for Anderson. Panovanov off the boards and out. Now Favaro wheels back in. His shot off a stick and wide. Pavlov in the corner. He starts up. Gets to the red line. Tried to make a pass, it came back to him. There's a loose stick down the Sentinels' end. Hippolyte Smith couldn't enter the offensive zone. Stymied there by Johnson. Craig tried to walk back in, but Hippolyte Smith hasn't exited yet. And that's an offside. Up and down action. Prowlers with the only 2 goals so far. We'll be right back here on the PHP Network.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go
Go
Prowlers!
Prowlers!
Back here at McMorran Place, it's 2-0 Prowlers. It is a masquerade party here at McMorran Place for the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics night this year. And they're selling these special pucks with the Prowlers masquerade logo on them. Now, we were supposed to have specialty jerseys for this game, but due to shipping delays or issues with the manufacturer, did not get the jerseys in time. They will be worn at a later date. So be sure to check out the Prowlers social media channels for that. And they will be worn and auctioned off to benefit the Special Olympics of Michigan. Here's Jamie Bussell on the right wing side. Down around behind the net towards Bazal. Sent it up to the point. Parsons had it slip by. Chasing after with Dawson. Cooper comes all the way out to clear the puck out of the zone. Parsons settles things down behind his net. Lockhart wheels ahead. Off to James, keeps it moving into the offensive zone. Colarusso out of his end into the Prowlers zone, but had his attempt to the net gloved down by Organ. Fields taken in by Hakela. Graham trying to find that puck. Hippolyte Smith did. Hippolyte Smith for Colarusso on the right wing side. Now Fields. Played it right into Graham. He sends Hakela in on a breakaway. Missed wide. Tried to go glove side on Werber. Fields ahead towards Esposito and out of his reach. Prowlers stay on the attack. Blake Anderson couldn't pull it off the wall. Craig back in. Trying to spin away from a couple of Prowlers. Able to get to Esposito. Cycle back down to Craig. Right to the net. And Cooper has it and he'll hang on. Sentinels right now actually leading in the shots on goal department, 7-6 after that last chance. Face off to Cooper's right. Comes to the wall. Johnson went toppling over. Here's Jonas Leas tried to center. Ends up in the near side corner for Leas to retrieve again. Pavlov to the net, save Cooper. Rebound available. Favaro kicks it up to his stick. Johnson looks like he got caught up high. And here come the Prowlers. Tecumseh for Anderson. Throws on the brakes, cycles it down deep. Tecumseh centered it out in front. Anderson looks. Price! Score! A tap in for Bobby Price! What a pass by Blake Anderson. He had an opportunity to shoot this puck, but instead he saw Price standing all by himself in the goal crease. No chance for Werber. Great feed by Anderson. And the onslaught continues in period one as Price has his second. Under 5 to go in the first. And the Prowlers trying to go into their bye week with plenty of happy feelings, and this is a great opening 20 minutes. Still 4:45 left in it. Bazal dumps his man. Collazo for Terrain. Dumps it right in on Cooper, and Lockhart clears the puck away from danger. Parsons ahead towards Bazal. Locked up with Dalton Anderson. And it's pushed back to Colarusso. Now Pazika at the red line, at the Prowler blue. Pazika closed off by Lockhart. Parsons comes flying up. 3-on-3 rush. Parsons outside Hakala. Trying to put it back to the middle. Off a skate, and here comes Pazika on a counter. They'll just dump it deep as Section 9 gets loud. Fans enjoying this one at McMorran Place. Their team looking for more as Anderson blew a tire, but able to keep Fields from getting the puck. Anderson to the net, still with it, and Werber the save. Colarusso to Craig. Headed out towards Esposito off a stick and off the glass. Linesman Dallas Mitchell had to go ducking. Anderson, Price with 2, sent it down low, looking towards the compass. He was locked up with Devon Fields, and Price almost picked Craig's pocket. Bonovanov throws on the brakes. Favaro lost it to Leah, centered it, and Oregon able to keep Indiana from a good chance in the slot. Now Price out to Anderson. Sent it in, and he'll head over to the bench. Bonovanov spinning away from DeCumbis. Ivan Bonovanov into the offensive zone. Good poke by Johnson. And now it's Favaro. Bazal spinning off a check. Johnson. Bucell at the red line. Whips it across to Bazal. Has Morick with him. Bazal shot blocked. And then Galazzo able to take it on the other side. Morick right back in. 2:25 left to go in period 1 as Bonovanov and Bucell come together. Pavlov steps out. Sent it ahead, off the boards, all the way down. And that is an icing. We'll take our final timeout of period 1. Prowlers all over the Sentinels. It's 3-0. And still in hard on the forecheck.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys, here's a game plan. LJ, you start with bananas.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milk House gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milk House, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Prowlers having a good time here at McMorran Place. Still in period 1, they have a 3-0 lead. Coming up in the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network, we'll have a representative from the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics Michigan to chat about the charity and the night here tonight. I'll take a look at some storylines from around the FPHL, out-of-town scores, and much more. It's all coming up here on the PHP Network. Port Huron with 3 goals on 7 shots here in the opening period. As Austin Federley looking for more, save Werber. Prowlers digging away. Werber has it covered. Face-off will be to Werber's left after that opportunity. Graham gets set to draw against Hippolyte Smith. Graham snapped it back. Federley looking towards Hakala. Hakel able to send it down deep. Lucas Lockney grabs it there. Up top for Federley. Wrist shot off a stick and to the near side corner. Lockney cuts off the clearing attempt for Hakela. Graham won't shoot. Comes back to Federley. He will, and it's tipped wide. Hakela turns the corner, and Werber has that one in the glove. So face-off will be down in John Werber's end. Floated down deep. Anderson up to the point to Favaro. Quickly across to Johnson, who knocked it out of the air. Down to Price behind the net. It was all out about the Michigan, just couldn't get it up on his tape. Bounced up to the point again. Johnson, wrist shot blocked by Rowell. Loose puck sitting there. Haggerty had his stick lifted by Price. Favaro throws on the brakes. Tried to slip a pass ahead, but got his signals crossed with his teammates. Didn't go all the way down for icing though, so we continue with under a minute to go in the Munger Physical Therapy first period, one of the most successful for the Prowlers this season. Lockhart off the boards, couldn't get it out though. He has it again, it was delayed offsides against the Sentinels. So that is the reason for the whistle. 33.9 up on the clock here at McMorran Place. This is the first time the Prowlers have scored 3 goals in a first period this season. And they've done it on one of their lowest shot totals in a first period this season. Just 8 shots on net right now. Jamie Bussell skates ahead, but overskated the puck. Leas hustling for it. Lockhart gets there first. Dawson up to the point to Pavlov. Onovanov sent it through. Cooper made the save. Leas tried to put it back out in front. And now he gets it to the point. Onovanov. Shot blocked. Dawson the backhand. Swallowed up by Reed Cooper. And the fans love that one from their netminder. Cooper making sure that the Sentinels don't get any life here at the end of a first period where his team has been able to run up the score. Puck comes to the boards off the draw. Oregon and Esposito tie up. Puck still available. And Leas' attempt towards net picked off by Federley. That will do it for period number 1, although Federley and Haggerty getting into it now. They'll have to be separated. Linesmen and referees not too busy in that opening 20. Referees Paul Jean and Jonathan Sitarski, the linesmen Dallas Mitchell and David Fleming. Prowlers with a 3-0 lead through 20 minutes of play. Shots on goal actually favored the Indiana Sentinels 10-8. But it was the Prowlers who do have the lead, getting 3 past John Werber in the opening 20. Bobby Price scored 2 of those goals. We will have him here in just a moment. We are trying something new, which is something we do a lot here on the PHP Network. I will be interviewing Bobby Price from up here as Aiden Bricker gets him set up with a headset down there. So let's see if we are ready for Bobby Price. And indeed we are. Bobby, do you hear me? Bobby's got me. And now we have Bobby. Here I am in the 2-box. Bobby, what a first period for you guys. What were you finding success with down in the offensive zone?
We found success just trying to get the puck low into the net. We're getting a bunch of guys to the net, and it was working very well for us.
Yeah, take me through that second goal for you. Able to just get, or the first goal, you're able to get to the net on the rush, and you were able, what was the presence of mind to bring that back to the forehand to get around him in tight?
I've had a couple chances like that earlier, and I knew that I could just have it to the forehand. It would be a better shot than just ripping it on my backhand short side. So, yeah.
Still 40 minutes left to go. What do you guys have to focus on to make sure that you don't get too complacent?
Just keep going our game. We're playing Prowler hockey right now, and just stay on the Prowler hockey way, and we'll be good.
All right, thank you, Bobby, and we'll see you after the game.
Sounds good, Wiggles.
That is Bobby Price, who again, had two goals in that opening 20 minutes. And again, you just watched history, something new here on the PHP Network. Feels like we have that just about every week. And again, we'll try that again at the end of the second period. Once again, I want to tell you about what's coming up here on the PHP Network here in the first intermission report. We will chat with a member of the crew from the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics. Also take a look at some storylines from around the FPHL, out-of-town scores, and much more. It's all coming up right here on the PHP Network. Well, just because the Prowlers aren't in action next week doesn't mean you can't see them live. Come out to the Prowlers Coaches Show at Wings Etc. this Wednesday, January the 7th. It is back for shenanigans, fan questions, giveaways, and much more. And you can find it at Wings Etc. Wednesday, January the 7th. And the show goes live at 6:30 p.m. So we hope to see you there at Wings Etc. Again, for the next edition of the Prowlers Coaches Show. You see the entire schedule there. Should be a lot of fun. I don't know if we can top our last episode with Luke James, but we will try to do our best. Again, be there at Wings Etc. If you can't be there, you can find it here on the PHP Network, but be there. You could go home with some Prowlers merch, ask some questions of your favorite players, and enjoy a good time at Wings Etc. We will be right back here on the PHP Network as we have some sled action out there on the ice. Lots of snow down at that end because that's where the Prowlers kept scoring goals. And we'll see if they can score some more as we continue on here on the PHP Network.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Congratulations on your engagement again, man. You know, you should get some life insurance.
I never really thought about that. How would I do that?
We can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. Congratulations on getting married, man. Have you gotten a house?
We just got one, actually, yeah.
Well, if you want, we can help you out with life insurance at Zach Egan State Farm to cover your mortgage. Is Olin a year old now?
He is.
Wow. Have you guys got life insurance set up on him yet?
I haven't even thought about it yet.
Oh.
How would I go about that?
Well, we can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. High five?
Yeah, and we should have gotten life insurance years ago.
Hey, Ken. We've actually got a policy for people your age at Zach Egan State Farm. Give us a call.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Welcome back here to McMorran Place. Prowlers with a commanding 3-0 lead on the Indiana Sentinels through 20 minutes of play. Will Wiggleman here with you up in the broadcast booth, and I have alongside me Dave Katz from the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics. Dave, thanks so much for joining me up here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Well, can you kind of tell the folks at home who may not be familiar with the Torch Run just kind of what it's about and what you guys support?
Yeah, the Law Enforcement Torch Run, it raises money and awareness for Special Olympics. So all athletes that have participated in Special Olympic sports participate for free. It builds camaraderie between law enforcement and the community. And this is what we're having an event today, to raise some money and awareness for our athletes.
And it's a great event every year, one of our more popular events, and always great jerseys. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see them tonight, but we'll get to see them later in the year. But yeah, it's always a great event that we have here. I don't know if you were part of deciding on the masquerade theme, but do you know at all how that came together, how that was decided for this year?
No, I know they kind of change it up every year, try to keep it fresh, try to make it fun and exciting for the athletes and the fans. I know the jerseys have been a huge success.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a bummer they didn't come in for today, but I know we're going to be back. We have a lot of inquiries today about them. So yeah, we're going to get those back. We're going to get them out for the fans, and this is a very nice fundraiser for us. We raise over like $10,000 at this event, which is significant. That's a great amount, and every dollar we raise is one more dollar for the athletes.
And we do have these great pucks that you guys are selling. I showed them a little bit earlier, but these awesome pucks with that masquerade logo, and it's just awesome for people to see a nice custom Prowlers logo, and it does connect you guys to the Prowlers and vice versa.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I was talking to you before. I grew up in Port Huron. I used to come to these games when I was the Port Huron Flags, which many years ago. But yeah, big hockey fan, great hockey town here. Love my roots. Love hockey.
Not to try and sell you tickets or anything, but we are going to be wearing Flags jerseys in April.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a throwback night coming up in April.
Oh, I got to be for that. Give me the date. I'll be here for that.
You'll have to come back for that. You might even bid on a jersey.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So again, did you know that we have a Special Olympian on our staff?
No, I did not.
Brian Larson, one of our equipment managers, was a Special Olympian. He showed me his gold medals.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he always gets to be the coach for these games, for the Torch Run games, and he loves it. So you guys really are making an impact here, not just in the community and in Michigan, but really literally right here in the building.
Yeah, that's impressive. I hope I met him. I volunteer at the summer games. We have summer, winter, fall, and spring. Summer being the largest. This is where the money goes to. It goes back to the local areas. It goes back to St. Clair County, Sanilac County. Macomb and all the regionals around here. And the money that we raise goes back, help the coaches, help the athletes, helps with the transportation costs, helps with, if we have to, rent gyms and provide equipment. So every dollar we raise is something that we can give back to the athletes.
Now, how does the Special Olympics work? Like, is there you said there's like a regionals and then you go to beyond, or?
Yeah, so actually you have regionals. If you progress from the regionals, you go to the state, and we have then state, then we have nationals, and then actually we have internationals.
Okay.
So the internationals, I've been to one. I've been to one in 2011 in Greece. I was our state representative that year as a law enforcement torch run. We actually carried the flame into the stadium to lit the torch. So yeah, so it can go all the way up. We actually have a athlete out of where is it? Downriver, the Arc down in where is that? I think it's Wyandotte. He is one of the nation's best weightlifters. I think he has a record for a deadlift. So
oh wow!
Some of these are, even though they have some special needs, are quite incredible athletes. Actually, I don't even want to compete with them in the weightlifting.
yeah, me neither.
They would crush me, but they're quite passionate, quite, they enjoy it quite a bit. They're just as competitive as you and I.
Now, if someone at home might have a child with special needs, or someone with special needs who might want to get into the Special Olympics, or at least try it out, see what they can do, how can they find more information?
Well, they go to the Special Olympics of Michigan website. It's SOMI.org. It's org, O-R-G. And you go to the website, and they can hook you up with the local coaches and programs. Each area has different sports. Depends on the local interests and coaching and availability of, not everybody have hockey arenas. So, they have a lot in basketball and swimming. So, just go to the website, check it out. You can register your child, or you can also, we're also looking at coaches and volunteers. All these athletes, you have to have coaches, you have to have trainers. There's a lot of ways to get involved. And, actually, I've been volunteering for Special Olympics for over 30 years, Will, and it was probably one of my best decisions I ever made, besides marrying my wife.
You have to say that, right?
Yeah. That's number one, volunteering number two. But no, what you give it, you get back 10 times. The athletes are just a joy. The parents, all their volunteers, it's just great to get involved. I think, it's priceless. What you get in, you get out.
And when is the actual torch run?
Okay, well, this is actually started in '81.
Okay.
By Chief Lamont out of Kansas City. And what he did was he was looking for a charity of choice for law enforcement. He wanted to give back to the community, build bridges, and get his law enforcement officers to work with the public and break down the wall. There's always a wall between law enforcement and the community. Especially, unfortunately, a little bit nowadays. But this is community policing done right. We reach out to the community, and so in '81, he started a local run. It was just like a mile or two, more like a jog walk, because it's to involve the athletes, to raise some money. And what he did, he sold some T-shirts, only raised a couple $100. In '81, that's a lot of money, and it has slowly spread, because it was such a popular movement, and it was something that law enforcement needed to do. We need to reach out to the community, make the connections, and develop relationships, because it's more than just catching bad guys. It's preventing things and building relationships and developing positive behavior for everybody. And so in '81, they raised a couple $100. Michigan now, it came to Michigan in 1984. And we're in the one of the 10 largest programs in the world. State of Michigan have raised over $2.5 million last year, and most of that through our polar bear plunges. The one I actually am director of one in the Wayne County plunge. That is going to be February 14th. If anybody's listening and looking for a plunge, you get to volunteer to jump into freezing cold water, raise some money, and like I said, you don't have to be a runner for that. So you don't have to be an athlete for that. You just have to be able to jump or fall or stumble. And we raised a lot of money with that. We raised over $1 million just on the plunges in the state of Michigan.
Wow.
and that all that money goes right back to the athletes. So, I'll be jumping. This could be my last year plunging. This is my 25th, 25 and done. Will, I'm looking for a partner to jump with me. Are you available?
Ooh, I might be. I'll have to check my calendar. I'll check my calendar and find my swim trunks.
Yeah, hey, it's got to be on your bucket list.
Oh, it sounds like a lot of fun.
It actually is.
Find out. Yeah. But, Dave, thanks so much for joining me up here.
Yep.
And good luck with the rest of the night. And thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah, and also, if you want to do a polar bear plunge, I do one in Wayne County, but there's like 22 or 23 through the state of Michigan. I think they might even have one in Port Huron. I know they have one in Macomb. It is fun. It is a bucket list thing. Everybody should do it, and hopefully you can come on out, raise some money, and have a good time.
Well, thank you, Dave.
And thank you, Will. And it's been my pleasure to spend the evening here with you.
It's law enforcement torture run night here at McMorran Place. Prowlers with a 3-0 lead. We'll be right back on the PHP Network.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorran experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
On Prowlers hockey, it's presented by shot. Back here at McMorran Place, that was Dave Katz of the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics Michigan. Prowlers have a 3-0 lead on the Indiana Sentinels. Let's take a look around the FPHL, and we start with our FPHL storylines. And we start with the Blue Ridge Bobcats as they signed Jacob Wolf, who was there last season but got traded to Topeka to start this year. Only played a few games before he was released, but now he is back in Blue Ridge. That meant the Bobcats had to get rid of somebody, and that somebody was Igor Romanow, who was traded to the Indiana Sentinels. Didn't make it here in time for the game tonight, but he will add to the back end for Indiana. Again, Colin Tracy got an SPHL contract, so he is not around right now. And of course, Devon Fields only plays in Michigan, so they will need somebody else on that blue line when they return home in a couple of weeks. That will be Romanow. Jacob Schnapp was suspended for a game for the Twin City Thunderbirds. Got a pair of misconducts last night, continuing altercation, abuse of officials, so he will sit tonight. Moving on to our out-of-town scoreboard, presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Few games already going on, a few more getting set to get underway shortly. And we start with the Twin City Thunderbirds. They're hosting the Blue Ridge Bobcats. That one tied up at 2 already through 40 minutes. Hat Tricks and Ice Cats tied up 1-1 through 20 minutes down in Florence. And the Binghamton Black Bears have a 1-0 lead on the Watertown Wolves in Watertown. That one midway through the first. Of course, Watertown upset Binghamton last night in Watertown. Coming up at 8:05 p.m., the Rock Lobsters visit the Zydeco again. River Dragons visit the Moccasins again. And the Scarecrows visit the Breakers again. We do have starting goaltenders for that Scarecrows and Breakers game. It will be Sammy Bernard for the Crows and Garrett Johnson for the Breakers. Of course, here it is 3-0 Prowlers, the out-of-town scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours. Prowlers hitting the ice. Take a look at the game stats from that opening 20 minutes. Prowlers got outshot 10-8, but scored 3 times. And this may be the first time you've ever seen this. I say a little bit with a little bit of sarcasm, but not too much. No penalties in that opening 20. So we get set for period number 2. Alex Johnson having a chat with Paul Jean, the referee, who, again, did not have to raise his arm. All he had to do was point in that first period. We'll see if the Prowlers can continue the momentum as the crowd is getting ready to go for the Hungry Howie's second period. Reed Cooper, see him there in the goal crease down to our left. 10 saves on 10 Sentinels shots. John Werber down on the other end. Made 5 saves on 8 Prowler shots. Quick hit of the smelling salts for Tim Morgan before he takes his spot on the blue line. Matt Graham and Jonas Lias in the face-off circle. And we're underway in period 2. Sent ahead, Morick ran into Fields, and Indiana able to get the puck deep in Prowler territory. Upped around to the far side. Federley pokes it along, slides it to Graham. Gotten out of the zone, Haggerty took a hit from Morick. Graham trying to keep going, and he got to Lockney. Working on Fields, the rising shot over top of the net. Carried all the way back down to the Prowlers zone. Oregon with plenty of room. Sent it to Graham, tried the return feed, but Fields got his stick eye. Here come the Sents with numbers. Dawson had it poked off his stick by the back-checking Price. Saucered to Morick. Now Graham on towards Price. Good step by Pavlov. Now Dawson on a breakaway. Save Cooper. Rebound off the post, and Cooper covers up. It slid ever so slowly off the iron as Nolan Dawson went one-on-one against his old college roommate, Reed Cooper. And all Dawson could muster was a swipe on the rebound. Cooper comes up large. Slamming the glove on top. Good chance there for Indiana early in the second. Price stapled to the glass by Pavlov. Parsons sent it out towards Blake Anderson, makes a move and gets into the offensive zone. Now Price to Lockhart on the right wing side. Works down the boards to Cumbus, back to Lockhart. Sentinels get in the way of their passing exchange. Comes to Bazal at the point. Missed the shot wide. Anderson tried to cycle back down deep, sandwiched by a couple of white sweaters. Esposito, Pavlov, and now Ponovanov. Looking ahead, got Craig. Has Lias hustling to the net. Back for Esposito. Backhand save, Cooper. Indiana looking for any kind of momentum early in this second period as they've come out with a lot more energy. Haggerty up for Lias. 3 Prowlers back. Lias take it in. Move to the top terrain. Right back down deep. Haggerty and Federley hustle for it. Federley wins the race. And Pazika tosses right back to the Prowlers' end. Terrain stepped up on Bucell, but he still got to Lockney. Wheeling in, his shot missed high off the glass. That went out of play, and finally they do whistle it down. 2.5 gone in the Hungry Howie's second period. Still 3-0 lead for the Port Huron Prowlers. But Indiana has had a strong start to the middle frame. Indiana trying to work this puck out. Hakola Back for Favaro. Collazo took a spill. Now Hakala slips on the brakes. Graham missed on the one-timer. Puck just wasn't in the wheelhouse. May have handcuffed Matt Graham a bit as well, as Favaro comes back to his own end for it. Johnson, headman feed for Hakala on the right wing side. Hakala looking towards Price, off a stick. Graham almost muscled to the net. Hakala rip, that was blocked. And up comes Dawson, chased by Graham. Got it out to Collazo. On goal, steered away by Cooper. Esposito fresh off the bench, had his stick neatly lifted by Anderson. And now here comes Price, kicks it to his stick. Cycles it down, back behind the cage. Ponovanov couldn't keep it moving. He was stapled by Anderson. Craig dances along the blue line. Ponovanov back to Pavlov. He gets into the offensive zone. Around behind the net. Hippolyte Smith up high. Ponovanov. Pavlov, one-timer. And Cooper has a clutch to the chest. Shots 4-1 Sentinels in this second period. Again, they've come out flying. Here's the latest batch of hits, though, as Prowlers picking up that physicality. Paul Jean was having a chat with Everett Thompson over on the Indiana bench. That's the reason for the delayed puck drop. Morick and Hippolyte Smith in the circle. And that was a tough drop, although they're asking Morick to leave. Are they asking Morick to leave? They are. And Bucell will come in to take it instead. Comes to the boards, Federle trying to move it ahead. Instead comes to the line to Terrain. Wrister changed direction, and Cooper has it. And then Federle wrestles a man down to the ice. Federle being separated from that Sentinel. That was Denver Craig. 6'3", 205-pound Denver Craig. Tackled to the ice by 5'6", 150-pound Austin Federle. Federle is heading to the box. Noah Hippolyte Smith is heading to the gate. So I'm not sure all the penalties. We'll find out. Craig got a little too close to Reed Cooper, and Federle slammed him down. Hippolyte Smith got involved. Bucell grabbed Hippolyte Smith, and everybody was grabbing everybody. And the first real work for the referees tonight, Paul Jean and Jonathan Satarski. And the linesmen are Dallas Mitchell and David Fleming. Looks like we'll have 4-on-4 action, according to the hand signal from Jamie Bucell. So Shane Haggerty will sit in the box to serve. It is Hippolyte Smith's penalty, but Haggerty is in there to serve. But you see Austin Federle hanging out in there as well, and we'll get some four-side hockey. Parsons up to Lockney. Threw it off the backboards. Devon Fields gets there first. Slid it towards Leas. Outside shot goes wide along the ice. Comes to Colarusso. Fields a one-timer glove and held by Cooper. So Hippolyte Smith got 2 minutes and a game misconduct. So for the second straight night, the Sentinels will be a man short after getting someone thrown out, although this time it took until the second period. Blake Anderson won the puck back clean. Johnson, Favaro. Favaro trying to pull it away from Craig. Got it to Anderson, 1-on-2, and he's closed off by Ponovanov. Pavlov, now Ponovanov. And Anderson took a stick up high behind the net. Penalty coming up. Interference, the call, and Blake Anderson is down on the ice. Prowlers trainer Bridget Smith hustling out to attend to him. Let's take another look here. Oh, is coming around the net there. I believe that was Craig. He ran into Anderson. Anderson back to his skates, and he will head back to the Prowler bench rather than the locker room. This will be a Port Huron power play, though. A 4-on-3 man advantage here for Port Huron. And now changes being made, but too late by Indiana, so they'll bring Pavlov back out. Faceoff comes to the boards, bounce to Ponovanov, and he clears down. Prowlers going with Graham, Johnson, Favaro, and Price for the lengthy 4-on-3. For the next minute 10 as Price starts to skate in. Met all three Sentinels there at the line. Dawson picks off a pass. He sends Pavlov up shorthanded. Pavlov knocked off his stick. And now Johnson speeds ahead as Graham waiting at the blue line. Johnson a rip, missed wide. And Graham waits for the carom. Favaro just did keep that puck in. Johnson looks, Price, back to Johnson. Fans want them to shoot. Favaro now has Graham right in front. Favaro got it down there. Graham, Johnson on the backhand, and that was blocked by a sliding Pavlov. Price lost the handle, and the puck escapes the zone. Graham able to keep that puck onside. Here's a pass down low. Karams off the backboards. Price to Organ. Now Lockhart walks in, and a shot blocked up out of play with 1 second left on Federley and Haggerty. They'll have to wait until the other side of this TV timeout. But the Prowlers have 41 seconds still to go on their first man advantage of the game. We'll be right back. Looking for a pregame meal? Zip Sauce Burger is located in the Industrial Park Marathon. Zip Sauce, the official burger of the Port Huron Prowlers. Well, let's run down these penalties, shall we? Noah Hippolyte-Smith got 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct and a 10-minute, a game misconduct for derogatory language, taunts, or slurs. So expect supplemental discipline, or at least to be looked at for that one. That's why he's out of the game. Federle just stepped out of the box after his 2-minute roughing penalty, and he joins this Prowlers power play. Alex jumps in for Federle. Wrists it through, over top of the net it goes. Lockney settles it down. Bounced up to Johnson. This one, Karam's right out of play, and we will need a new puck. 10 seconds left on the Prowlers power play after the Denver Craig interference call. Port Huron has not been credited with a shot on goal yet on this man advantage. They went 1 for 4 last night after 2 power play goals on Wednesday in Indiana. Reed Cooper banging his stick, may have been able to hear it to let his team know that there's a guy coming out of the box soon. Here comes Collazo. Penalty coming up against the Prowlers as a Sentinel was taken down as they were moving up ice. Certainly an obvious penalty, and it's Bobby Price who gets the infraction. We'll have 1 second of 4-on-4, and then the Sentinels will go to their first power play of the game. See if we can get another look at that penalty. You see right there, just at the end there, as Price dove and tripped up Jonas Leas. Just kind of caught the tail end of it there. But now Indiana on its first power play, 1 for 3 in last night's game. Pazika behind the net. Slams on the brakes. Twisting and turning, got it up to Collazo. Now Terrain. Colarusso, wrist shot, glove, save Cooper. Port Huron did end up without a shot on their power play, and there you get another look at the tripping call against Price. Port Huron switches up the killers. Collazo won the faceoff over to the wall, and now it goes behind the net. Federle claps it around and past Colarusso. Colarusso wheels around the net. The cheering you're hearing is for a free t-shirt going down right in front of the broadcast booth, as Mitz is there tossing out some free swag. Meanwhile, Brett Lockhart collects the puck for Port Huron, and he's able to dump it all the way down. Werber left it around this way towards Collazo. Romeo Terrain gets the red line. It's the Prowler blue, hands off for Dawson and drops it back for Terrain. Wrist shot by Ponovanov off the body and wide, and Cooper slides aggressively to the post to grab the puck and freeze it. .12:08 left to go in period 2. Reed Cooper has been busy in this middle frame. Shots 8-1 Sentinels in this second period. They have come out again with a lot more fire and a lot more energy in this middle frame than they had in the first. Esposito, Craig, challenged by Federle. Johnson grabs the loose puck hard off the boards, only as far as Ponovanov though. Federle heads after it. Grabbed by Craig, now Pazika. DeCumbis able to get in front of that pass. Here comes DeCumbis with James. DeCumbis just tosses it in. Port Huron gets a wholesale change. Final 18 seconds ticking off the penalty to Bobby Price. Indirect feed finds Pazika. Mora came in to throw a check. Puck grabbed by Craig. Looking it up to the point. Pavlov, Ponovanov, down low, and Craig just touched it wide. That was a shot pass from Panovanov to the back door. Pavlov sent it back to the net. Tip to the corner. Bucell waiting, and now he'll start up ice. Vladislav Pavlov to Ethan Esposito, but he wasn't ready for it. Bucell and Craig having a little stick battle away from the play. Heikkila rips it off the far corner boards. But that was the delayed offsides against the Prowlers as Heikkila didn't keep the puck in. So we'll get the whistle and the faceoff outside of the Indiana zone. Approaching the midway point of this hockey game, Prowlers with only 9 shots on goal. They have only, which puts them on pace right now for about 18. And they have only gotten fewer than 20 shots once this season, and that came in Binghamton. Back on December the 6th. Matt Graham tried to center for Heikkila. Centered, Lockney, Graham with a whack, and Werber got the pad down. Lias up towards Cruz. Tossed out. This one will go all the way down, skittering, but not enough for icing. Haggerty threw it to the middle of the ice, hopped over Parsons' stick. He gets it ahead to Lockney. Blake Anderson skates into it, but had it knocked back by Shane Haggerty. Fields bounces it ahead. Anderson grabs it there. Anderson couldn't get around Haggerty. Terrain chased down by Price. Price able to get it to DeCumbis. Terrain again has to deal with Price once again. Price grabs the puck. Cycled down to DeCumbis. Kept it moving for Anderson. Centered out in front, and Price couldn't get it on his backhand. Dawson wrapped it all the way back around in the Prowlers zone. Past the midway point of this game, it's 3-0 Port Huron. All 3 goals coming in the opening period on just 8 shots in that opening 20. Prowlers have 2 here in the second. James flags the puck down in the corner. Panovanov looking for an outlet, trying to catch the Prowlers in a change, but the pass too far ahead of Craig. And we'll get a whistle and a timeout. 9 minutes left to go in period 2. Still 3-0 Port Huron here on the PHP Network.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here at McMorran Place, Prowlers still with that 3-0 lead. Fans here enjoying themselves, the last Prowlers hockey that they'll be able to see for a couple of weeks, as Prowlers are off next weekend. Sentinels are off next weekend as well. So both of these teams trying to go into their little bye week on a high note. Port Huron had a great first period, but right now they just have a great shooting percentage. Not too many shots on goal in this game. And now we have a fight. Craig and Bucell had some stick fighting on their last shift, and now they'll go. The big Denver Craig against Bucell. Craig firing away right hands. Bucell able to swing him down. Craig got some good rights in there. As Jamie Bussell gave up some size, but he was able to push down the bigger Denver Craig. Let's take another look. They were ready to go right off the draw. 6'3", 205-pound Denver Craig with some wild right hands, missed with a few. And Jamie Bussell able to topple him over. 5'7", 175 is what Bussell is listed at. So he gets tended to by Prowlers trainer Bridget Smith. They'll continue. The compass line out there for the Prowlers, but it's pulled off the draw by Ponovanov, who skates ahead. Haggerty to the net, scooped up neatly by Cooper, and he'll hang on. Second fight this weekend between these teams. Of course, last night it was Ethan Esposito and Brett Morick right off the opening face-off. Off this draw. Pushed out of the zone. Pavlov puts it right back in. Johnson for Favaro. Headman feed tipped along by Anderson. DeCumbis overskated the puck. Colazzo for Pavlov. Back to Ashton Colazzo. Penalty coming up here against the Prowlers as Anderson threw a hit on Pavlov. Pavlov has his stick stuck in Blake Anderson. The Sentinels are going to their second power play of this period. I believe cross-checking was the signal. We take another look. And Anderson got his hands up high, and that's the reason for the call. Indiana's power play 0 for 1 so far. There's a good look at Brian Larson in the black suit. Prowler's Special Olympian. Works now as an equipment manager, but a retired Special Olympian, has a few gold medals to show for it. We mentioned him during the intermission report when we were chatting with Dave Katz from the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics. Devon Fields puts the puck down deep. Graham battling with Leas, who wins the puck. Popped out in front, Graham able to chop it past Colarusso. And now Graham hustling after it, but Esposito comes across to get there first. Graham takes Esposito out. Colarusso moves ahead. Long lead pass cut off by Parsons as he read that. Colarusso swung it around to the far side. Pazika slams on the brakes. Over to Colarusso. Back towards Pazika. He retreats. We're about halfway through this Indiana power play. Fields or Pavlov stops up. Got to Haggerty. Now Esposito. Working on Oregon. Stops. Got it up high. Ponovanov walks in with space. He scores. Ivan Ponovanov sent it right through and gets the Sentinels on the board. Second goal of the year for Ponovanov. Both have come here at McMorran Place. He had all kinds of room to walk in and pick his spot. Traffic in front. And I don't know if Reed Cooper is able to see that one cleanly or even at all. There are a couple of white sweaters right in front of him. .708 left to go in period 2, and Indiana on the board after dominating most of this period. Johnson got it ahead to Hakala, but off his stick. Comes back to Favaro. Right in off the corner boards. Plonovanov watched, and he bounces it over to Pavlov. Two top defensemen for this Indiana squad. Had a rough night on the plus-minus department last night. They are still two most trusted guys for Everett Thompson on the back end. Plonovanov head towards Collazo. Over to Dawson, gets the red line and wires it in off the corner boards. Collazo trying to slip through Favaro, could not. Tecumseh up with speed. 3 Sentinels back to meet Tecumseh. Goes on the brakes and ripped it wide. Price tried a back pass out in front. Here comes Collazo. Ahead towards Bazika, bounce past him. Federley up for Anderson. Back to Austin Federley. High toss. Lands near Devon Fields. Bobby Price up top. Oregon shot. Stopped by Werber, and he hangs on. And now Werber going after Price. Anderson has an arm around Werber, and everybody getting involved down deep, except for the Prowlers defenseman. Anderson and Collazo having a hugging match. And now it's turned into a stick pushing and shoving match. Certainly penalties will be coming from this as John Werber got involved. The shot came in, Price was digging for it. Ended up going into Werber. Price trying to find a rebound and being a little bit of a pest as well. Brett Morick is in the box. Devon Fields also in the sin bin. We'll see if this affects on-ice manpower. And it looks like we'll have 4-on-4. So more open ice action. Everett Thompson right at the front of his bench. Not sure if he wanted to have a word with Paul Jean or not. Now Jean slides over to chat with Thompson. Everybody all set to go. And off this face-off, it's Colarusso slipping away from James. Pass missed Haggerty. Lockhart retrieves and dinks it over in James's direction. Parsons. Lockhart. Gave it right back. Parsons makes a move to the outside. Chips it around Colarusso. Pavlov. Back to Colarusso. Ahead to Lias as Haggerty breaking. Trying to stretch it there. Lockhart had his stick in the lane. James pulls it ahead. Gets in, delays, and wraps it all the way around. Lockney fresh off the bench, the first one there. He's surrounded. Lockney battling through Pavlov. Colarusso picks up the puck. Spun it back to Pavlov. Lifted ahead, Haggerty. Slowly puts it on net, and Cooper snags it down with his glove. We will take a timeout. Under 5 to go in period 2. Sentinels have one back.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 3-1-3 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry? Howie!
Back here at McMorran Place, Prowlers with a 3-1 lead on the Indiana Sentinels. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Hopefully you are patient in waiting for us to return, as again the Prowlers will be off next weekend. Austin Federley and the Prowlers still with some 4-on-4 action. Minute 1 left in that. Face off, one back by Graham. And now Johnson starts ahead. Johnson wraps it all the way around. Ponovanov taken in by Graham. Colazzo gave it away to Lockney. All the way out top. Johnson fanned on the shot. The Sentinels came out to him, and now it's a 2-on-1. Colazzo with Esposito gave it to him, and Cooper shut it down. Reed Cooper comes flying across to make the save on Ethan Esposito. Keeps it a 2-goal game, 4:22 left in period 2. Kicked over to the boards off this face-off. Oregon lost his balance. Elias clapped it towards the net. Not sure if that got through to Cooper or not, as there was traffic right in front. Favaro gets in. Favaro with a nice move. Pushed it too far in front. Price down to Anderson. Wheeling up top. Anderson turns the corner, sent it there. Price just tipped it wide, looking for the hat trick. Vladislav Pavlov up to Ponovanov. Anderson had it knocked off his stick by Price. Now to Morik. Drops the shoulder on Pavlov. Morik tried to get to the net. He was taken out by Pavlov. Ponovanov. And now Elias skates ahead. 4 Prowlers back as Elias tossed it right in on Cooper. He'll play it off for Parsons. Right wing side, James. Cross corner dump. Parsons heads after it along with Terrain. Those two cancel out. Bazal centered looking for James. Came to Graham. Played it off a Sentinel. And up comes Esposito with a shot kicked out by Cooper. Terrain pinched down the boards. Prowlers got it past him. And up comes Bazal. Has Graham hustling to the net. Bazal towards Graham off of Colarusso's skate. Up top it comes. Parsons back down low. Bazal swings it to the point. Lockhart back down deep again. R2 Hakala throws on the brakes. Hakala now to the point to Lockhart. Try to get it back down low. Low reverse hit on Pazika that the crowd enjoyed. Colazzo got it ahead, but cut off by Decumbis. Parsons lets it go, deflected, rebound, pushback on goal, and Werber able to stick out the left pad and make the save. Pazika got it down deep, 2 minutes left to go in the Hungry Howie's second period. High flip out by Anderson, flag down by Fields. Gave it away, here comes Anderson. Makes a move, gave it to Price and just missed wide. Anderson faked the drop pass, kept moving, and then ended up dropping it anyway. Bobby Price just couldn't get it on target. Johnson. Anderson leaves it. Price a rip off the post. Anderson with another steal. He shoots this time, but it's blocked. Johnson down low towards Price. This is the best life the Prowlers have had in this second period. Fields tries to end it, saucered it as far as Johnson, but he knocked it out of the air with a high stick. And we will get a whistle and a face-off. Stick taps from both sides as Jamie Bussell and Denver Craig step out of the penalty boxes. Of course, they had the fight earlier, but there's the chance for Lockney. Bit of an awkward angle on his backhand. And then here's the good look for Price, right off the near post. Looking for that hat trick, would be his first pro hat trick. Federley able to toss this puck in deep. Terrain around towards Esposito. Got through, and Federley's attempt towards the net was blocked wide. James cycled it around. Bussell hustles to it. He blew a tire. Still on the puck. Now he's tripped up. Fans want a penalty that time they won't get. Bazal up to the line. Federley sent it through off of Esposito. Blocked that one a little painfully. Now Bazal had to turn it on goal. That was blocked. Federley cut off the pass. Tossed it back in. 20 seconds left to go. Terrain ahead to Lias. Tried to make a pass back. Nobody ready for it. Terrain has to spin away from the oncoming Blake Anderson. Craig looking for one last chance. Well, he put it right on Price's stick. Price with 3. Lockhart all the way ahead to Anderson, but time will run out on Blake Anderson. Sentinels get the only goal of that second period. The Prowlers still in front 3-1 as they try to extend their win streak to 7 games. Shots on goal in that middle frame, overwhelmingly dominated by the Sentinels. 12-3, and Indiana doubling up the Prowlers in shots. 22-11 right now. Aiden down at ice level, getting our walk-off interview set up. We will chat with Jamie Bussell after his fight in that second period. And let's see if we have Jamie Bussell here. Jamie, you hear me?
What's up, Will?
Well, not a lot of shots on net for you guys. Is that something you're looking for, more grade A's, or are they just getting in the shooting lanes?
No, I think we just got to get back to our game plan, you know. I think at times we're trying to do too much. But, you know, we got to get the puck deep and then go to work low in their zone. And, you know, in the first, that's when we got all our scoring opportunities and, you know, the 3 goals.
You got into that fight with Denver Craig. What led up to that?
You know, yeah, Ando was forechecking, you know. Craig kind of clipped him, you know, shoulder, head. So told him, you know, he's got to answer for that.
20 more minutes and then a couple of weeks, or about a week off. So what do you guys have to do to empty the tank here? Make sure you go into that break with positive thoughts.
You know, just focus up, get back to what we did in the first period, you know, that led to success, and just get back to Prowler hockey.
All right, thank you, and we will see you in the third.
Thanks, Will.
That was Jamie Bussell, who again had the fight in that second period with Denver Craig. Prowlers with a 3-1 lead coming up in the second intermission report right here on the PHP network. We will take a look at some highlights and analysis from the first 40 minutes. Also take a look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule, out-of-town scores, and more. It's all coming up here on the PHP network. As the Prowlers and Sentinels will head to the locker rooms, one more period of regulation. And for these two teams, before they get a little bit of time off, some time to rest and recover and reset before getting into the second half of the season. This is game 28 of 56 for the Prowlers. Last night was game 28 of 56 for the Prowlers. 17-11-0 right now, and on pace for 98 points, which would be an improvement on last year. And we'll see if they can keep that up, and this would be step number one to keeping up that pace. Well, secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game. That is Friday, January the 16th, 7:05 p.m. against the Danbury Hat Tricks. It is Dalton Jay's jersey retirement night. You will not want to miss it. It is the first time in franchise history that the Prowlers are retiring a jersey. Number 92 is headed up to the rafters, never to be worn by a Prowler again. Be here to witness that history and hear from the man himself, number 92, Dalton Jay. You can get your tickets at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or by scanning the QR code on your screen now. That's online, phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or scan that QR code on your screen now to experience Prowlers history. Dalton Jay's number 92 heading to the Raptors at McMorran Place. We'll have much more coming up for you on the second intermission report. We'll check out the highlights and much more. We'll do it next here on the PHP Network.
Come on, guys, hop in.
We're not getting in that thing. That thing's gross.
Yeah, I wore my nice pants today. This thing could use a detail.
Well, I don't know. Do you know anybody who could detail a boat? I think that guy could.
Hi, I'm Logan from Ballard's Detail. I can detail your boat.
From oxidized and faded to smooth and glossy, our professional compounding and waxing process will get your boat looking new again. Contact us today at 810-956-8318. Visit us on Facebook at Ballard's Detail LLC.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Hello, I'm home. There he is. What is happening? Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch? Spicy. Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite. Can you stop? Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack Wrap is back.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a hope play. I'll take. Come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Head over to the Birchwood Mall for your shopping and entertainment needs. Hop on the carousel, shoot some hoops, or visit some of their great stores such as Gerlach's Woodworks, where they specialize in handcrafted wooden decorations. Add to your fan cave a Prowlers themed creation. Upgrade your bathroom at Luxury Bath Mobility Remodelers. They can fully customize your bath or shower to fit your needs, and they also do flooring. For the sports fan in your life, pick up a unique gift from Pro Edge Sports. Jam-packed with all kinds of memorabilia. There's something for everyone. And it's not a trip to the mall without Auntie Anne's pretzels. Grab a freshly made full-size cup of pretzel bites and wash it down with some frozen lemonade. At the Birchwood Mall, you can find this and more. Visit them on 24th Ave in Fort Gratiot.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's a game plan. LJ, you start with bananas.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milk House gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milk House, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Back here at McMorran Place, second intermission rolling on, and the Prowlers have a 3-1 lead over the Indiana Sentinels. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Yeah, it's the Prowlers with the 3-1 lead through 40 minutes of play. Indiana was the only team that got a goal in that second period as they came out with a lot more fire, but we'll start back in the first, and it started early as Lucas Lockney tipped home the shot from Tim Organ. That goal came 2:43 into the game, and the Prowlers were off and running quickly. And they take another good look as Organ able to filter the shot through. Good hand-eye from Lockney to put it home past Werber. The Prowlers have a really good shooting percentage in this game. Again, not too many shots on goal, but then it was Bobby Price's turn later in that first period. Vinny DeCumbis slipped past the check in the neutral zone. Price able to pull to his forehand and tuck it into the empty cage. And there it was a 2-0 game. A beautiful move back to the forehand by Bobby Price. And that line struck again. And they would strike again later in the period. Good cycle down and around. And Anderson head up, finds Price right there all alone at the top of the crease for an easy tap-in goal. And that was Price's second of the opening 20. Again, great vision from Blake Anderson to find Price. And Anderson now with a 7-game point streak, 11 points during that point streak. Vinny DeCumbis has 2 helpers. Again, Price 2 goals as that line continues to chug and find so much success as they've been put together. The fisticuffs came out in that middle frame, and it was Denver Craig standing at 6'3", 205, and Jamie Bussell standing at 5'7", 175, and they were throwing them. And you heard Bussell at the end of that second period. Retribution standing up for his teammate, and they get a nice scrap there. And at that point, 3-0 Prowlers, a nice fight. And the only thing that seemed to not be going their way was the way play was moving in that second period, as the Sentinels kept dominating in the shots on goal department, heavily outshooting the Prowlers. 12-3 was the final shots from that middle frame, and it seemed like Indiana was getting chance after chance after chance. They got a power play, and it was Ivan Ponavanov who had room to skate in and pick his spot through the traffic. I don't think Reed Cooper was able to pick up that shot to make it a 3-1 game. Now, the Prowlers did weather the storm through the rest of that period, as again the Sentinels continued to push. Cooper had to make a couple of really good saves and keep it a 2-goal game. That is where we stand, 3-1 for the Indiana Sentinels. See if we can take a look at the game stats through 40 minutes of play. Sentinels doubling up the Prowlers in shots on goal. They're 1 for 2 on the power play. Lots of PIMs up there, but not too many man advantages, as we've had a lot of 4-on-4 time. Of course, the fight, Noah Hippolyte-Smith was asked to leave the game after his derogatory language / slur / taunt / whatever it was that he said down there that the referees did not like, and decided that he should not be allowed to continue playing in the game. But that's where we stand with the numbers through 40 minutes of play. And Indiana very dominant in the shots on goal department. Still rolling on here in the second intermission. Zamboni out on the ice, and the on-ice projectors doing their thing. Again, I say it a lot, but if you think they look cool on your computer screen or TV screen, they look about 100 times cooler here in the arena. So be sure to get down here to McMorran Place. We are honoring Dalton J next time the Prowlers are at home on January the 16th. It is Dalton J's jersey retirement game. So we will be raising 92 to the McMorran Place rafters. Make sure you're here for that. Get your tickets at phprowlers.com/tickets. We'll take a timeout and come back with more coverage here on the PHP Network. Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorran experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PHProwlers, and Twitter at PHProwlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
On Prowlers hockey, presented by Shock. Back here at McMorran Place, Prowlers with a 3-1 lead over the Indiana Sentinels through 40 minutes of play. Check out the crowd here at McMorran Place. Had plenty to cheer about in the opening 20. Another pretty good crowd on hand after the best crowd of the season last night. Nearly 2,000 packing this barn after a jersey giveaway courtesy of the exhibit. Prowlers will be at the exhibit on Sundays. We take a look at the upcoming schedule. 5 p.m. an appearance at the exhibit on 12th Ave at 5 p.m. Prowlers will be there signing autographs and taking photos and hanging out with fans. So if you got a jersey during that jersey giveaway last night, be sure to bring it and get it signed by all of your favorite Prowlers, and even some of the Prowlers you might not like quite as much. But they will all be there again Sunday, January the 4th. That is tomorrow afternoon into evening, 5 to 8 p.m. at the exhibit. And then on Wednesday, the next edition of the Prowlers Coaches Show is live from Wings Etc. in downtown Port Huron, right on Quay Street on the banks of the Black River, 6:30 p.m. We'll have some fun and hang out there at Wings Etc. And if you can't make it down there, you can find it here on the PHP Network. But be sure to head down there and you'll get a discount on your order if you come out to the Prowlers Coaches Show. And anytime you wear your Prowlers gear all year long, if you go into Wings Etc. wearing something Prowlers, you can get a discount on your purchase. But that is the upcoming schedule. Again, the Prowlers are off next weekend, but then they'll return home against the Danbury Hat-Tricks the following week, 7:05 and 6:05 p.m. puck drops. And that Friday, Dalton J. jersey retirement night. And then Saturday is Mitz's birthday. Superhero and princess themed birthday party. So dress up the kids in their favorite superhero or princess costumes. Come out, celebrate with everybody's favorite cat, and should be a lot of fun. That is a kids zone night, and you'll be able to hit the ice with the players after the game. So be sure to come out to that one and bring your skates. Skates not required. We do have rental skates here as well if you so need. Those can be rented for free during those times. But should be a lot of fun coming up here later in January. And again, we hope to see you out here at McMorran Place. Let's take a look at what's going on around the FPHL with our out-of-town scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. And we start down in the Twin Cities as the Thunderbirds and the Bobcats were battling again. Blue Ridge came out on top 3-2. Dustin Jessot got the game-winning goal late in the third, the only goal of the third period, as the Bobcats take the victory. For Jessot, his first goal as a Bobcat. So Blue Ridge gets a big 3 points down in Winston-Salem. Black Bears have a 2-0 lead midway through the second against the Watertown Wolves in Watertown. CJ Stubbs, Austin DeRazio with the goals there for Binghamton. Hat tricks trying not to leave South Carolina empty-handed. They're up 4-2 on the PD Ice Cats through 40 minutes of play. Lobsters all over the Zydeco 3-0 after 20 minutes. 2 from Joe Mack, 1 from Eric Neely in that one. 20 minutes down in Monroe, Tyler Barrow the only goal for the Columbus River Dragons. They're into the second period in Biloxi. It's 2-1 Topeka, though, as Elijah Wilson and Jacob Gagnon answered an early marker from Darius Davidson. Of course, here it is 3-1 Prowlers. Outtown scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours. In case you missed it, let's take one last look at the game stats so far before we get to the ice for period number 3. Sentinels leading the Prowlers in shots on goal 22-11, but it's Port Huron with the 3-1 lead. 3 goals on 8 shots in the first period for the Prowlers as they try and head into the off week on a 7-game win streak. They have won their last 6, including the last 2 in overtime against these Sentinels. Last night was a comeback effort as Reed Cooper leads his team back out onto the ice. Prowlers right now with 11 shots again through 40 minutes of play. Their lowest shot total of the season, 16 on December the 6th at Binghamton. Cooper has been fantastic, 21 saves on 22 Sentinel shots. John Werber down at the other end was 3 for 3 in the second, and he is 8 for 11 for the game. The final 20 minutes of regulation in this building for a couple of weeks. Prowlers are going to try and leave it all out there. Sentinels as well. They have the same off week as the Prowlers do. As you see the guys getting into the smelling salts. Wonder if Dallas Mitchell, the linesman, got a sniff over there. Prowlers will start with the Graham line. Sentinels with Jonas Leas's line. Graham and Leas set for the drop before this third period. And we're underway in the final 20 of regulation. Sent in deep. Werber out behind his net to play it. Fired it around to roll. Turned it right over. Tipped it on goal, but taken away by Fields. Oregon bounces it off the wall. Lockney lost the handle. Here's Leas with an offensive chance. Driving the goal line. Played it off the side of the cage. And now it's Oregon. Stepping ahead. Pass to Federle. Didn't get there cleanly. Hakala turns into the offensive zone. Graham all the way across to Price fresh off the bench. Price sent it down and around. Dalton Anderson, the first one there, as Favaro backed out of the zone. Dawson trying to play it from his body, but Collazo got into the offensive zone too quick. And offsides called against Indiana. 52 seconds into period number 3. And I keep saying it on the broadcast, this period has not yet been sponsored on the PHP network. We want to have your logo up there on the scorebug for period 3 for all the big third period goals. So email chris@phprowlers.com to find out more about how you can get a pro-rated deal and put your logo here on the PHP network. Calazos one-hands it around. James lost the puck. Maybe a little too much water in that corner as it just died on him as he was stick handling. Lockhart couldn't send it out. Here's Dalton Anderson trying to get to the net, and it comes to Bazal. James at the red line. Toss it right in on Werber, and he blocks it over to the corner. Parsons, the defenseman, in deep. 2 Sentinels on him. Decumbus trying to dig it free. Comes up the wall. Dawson out for Punavanov. Working on Favaro. Long range wrister, gloved down and held by Reed Cooper. Face-off will be to Cooper's right. Craig and Anderson on the draw, and Pazika drags it over to the corner. Got it out to Craig. Knocked off his stick. Esposito cycles for Pazika, who has played forward tonight. Played most games as a defenseman for the Sentinels. Cooper scoops up the attempt from field. Pazika listed as a forward, but again, typically is seen on the blue line, at least in his time as a Sentinel. Playing on this line with Craig and Esposito. Price won the face-off, back to Favaro. Anderson, touch pass, lands on Craig's stick. Turnaround try, stopped by Cooper, and he's able to scoop up the rebound. And Pazika gets some punishment from Bobby Price as he was looking for a rebound. And that's something that's happened a few times to the Prowlers this weekend. They try and make a pass off the wall to the middle and just nobody there. They miss the pass and the Sentinels get an opportunity. Dalton Anderson made them pay last night. They've gotten lucky so far tonight. Federle one-hands it around towards Lockney. Lockney able to push it out of the zone. Terrain and Hakala hustling after it. Graham gloves the puck down. Pazika has it. Back for Terrain. Indirect feed looking for Craig. He starts ahead. Craig gets to the red line, slips past the check. Craig to the net, centered it out in front, came all the way through to Terrain. Let it go, deflected wide off the outside of the cage. Federle and Craig, the 2 number 19s, battle. And then Federle down on the ice as he went down awkwardly, back to his skates. Oregon sent Craig down next to the net, and Tim Organ's going to the box. And he gives Craig another shove for good measure as Austin Federle on one leg heads back to the Prowler bench. Tim Morgan getting 2 for cross-checking. As watch here, Federley goes down awkwardly. His left leg kind of gets caught underneath Craig. Oregon went back and got a little revenge on Craig in front of the net, and that was enough, but he did get his money's worth as he got that extra shove in there as well. The Sentinels to their 3rd power play of the game. They're 1 for 2. Terrain, Colarusso across, one-timer, Collazo shanked it. Fold out, Colarusso missed everything. That one went up out of play into the protective netting over the glass. Not sure if it hit somebody on the way through, but Richie Colarusso was sliding down the middle of the ice and it got himself an opportunity. Prowlers switch up the killers here. Collazo and Graham on this face-off. Graham won it back and Johnson clears. And pop back in front of net. Werber had to reach back to grab it in the blue paint. Terrain knocked off his stick nicely by Heikkila. Collazo up to Colarusso. Colarusso back on it. Off to Dawson. Back to the point. Terrain shot off a stick and lands in the corner. That was Graham who got his twig in the lane. Collazo got it to Dawson, trying to drive the net. Poked at by Cooper. Terrain walks. Colarusso quickly back across in Collazo's direction. Haggerty couldn't center as Parsons got in the way. Parsons finds the puck. Only got as far as Terrain. Heikkila battling with Romeo Terrain. Haggerty comes up with it. Colarusso to Terrain. Indirect feed finds Collazo. Now Haggerty. Terrain again, 30 seconds left on this Indiana power play. Haggerty, Dawson, floats it through, and that's an easy glove save for Reed Cooper. A lot of passing around for the Indiana Sentinels. Cooper able to make the stop, but there you see him poking Dawson as he tried to walk the blue line. And then there's the glove save by Cooper. Tied up off this face-off. Pavlov got it across to Ponovanov. Pavlov, Ponovanov once more. He has the power play goal for Indiana in this game. He'll let it rip, but it's blocked by Bucell. Ponovanov comes back for the puck. That shot blocked by DeCumbus. Another try, and Cooper's got that one. Three seconds left until Oregon is let loose from the sin bin. Price and Leas set for the face-off. Bobby Price giving instructions to the rest of his teammates. Tied up, and Leas able to win it back. Pavlov tried to get it on goal. It's partially blocked. Here comes Anderson on a break. Anderson steps around Esposito. Sharp angle try, stop, rebound, pushed just wide by Price. Blake Anderson, turnaround shot punched out by Werber. Up comes Esposito, working on Federley. He's got him with the hip. A perfectly executed hip check from the Prowlers captain, who seems to be all right. Favaro drops it off for Johnson, all the way ahead, and Morick able to tip it in. Werber all the way out, but Johnson takes over. Favaro, rink wide feed, lands on Graham's stick, has Lockney, but fanned on the shot. Fields was right on him. Graham tried to stuff it, and Werber able to make the save. Colarusso back in. Curl and drag move, but knocked away by Favaro. Colarusso again. The defenseman in deep. Around to Pazika. Taken in by Graham. Rowell and Favaro step in there. Pazika comes out with it. Fields one-timer. Blocked by Hakala down on a knee. Pazika's turnaround try off a Prowler stick and up out of play. We'll take a timeout as we may have just seen our hit of the week from Austin Federley with the hip check. We'll be back here on the PHP Network.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like some McMorrin fries, please.
All right, that's going to be $4. Okay.
She shoots, she scores with the new Prowlers debit card.
Don't you have somewhere to be? The game's on.
Get your Prowlers debit card only at Flagship Community Federal Credit Union, located on Lapeer Road in Port Huron. Flagship Federal Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Back here in Port Huron, Prowlers with a 3-1 lead on the Indiana Sentinels. Well, the Prowlers are on the ice, so grab a glass of Proper 12 Irish Whiskey, Proper 12, the official shot of the Port Huron Prowlers. Please drink responsibly. Let's take another look at that hip check from Austin Federley. That's old school right there. Can't draw it up any better than that. This shot goes off the dasher and up out of play. There was a little concern for Austin Federley as he went down awkwardly on his previous shift, but he came back out and showed everyone he is quite all right. Galazzo and Bazal will be in on this face-off. Bazal snapped it back. Lockhart rims it all the way around up to James. Has Bucell with him. Chipped it that direction. Batted behind the net. James and Pavlov come together. Haggerty trying to force it out of the zone. Parsons holding the blue line. Bazal tied up with Haggerty still. And James grabbed the puck. They blew it dead. I think Paul Jean, the referee, blew it dead because it was stuck along the boards. And I think the Prowlers, Luke James, you saw him not happy with the whistle because the linesman waved it good on the offside. He said the play was still onside when James scooped it up, but they may have blown it dead because Paul Jean lost sight of the puck. We continue on, 7 minutes gone in period 3 as Johnson comes back for it in his own end. DeCumbis couldn't work ahead. Dawson turns towards the net, in front looking for Haggerty off his stick. 3 Prowlers, 2 Sentinels below the goal line, battling for that puck. It's pinned along the dasher. Johnson tried to slip it ahead, couldn't do it. Price got it to Blake Anderson. He just saucers it out of the zone. Pavlov around towards Ponovanov. Price hustling over that direction. Anderson grabs the puck, slings it back deep. Pavlov chased down by Price, who took the puck off his stick. Graham couldn't slip past Esposito. Colazzo spun back behind his net. And his stick lifted by Hakala. Esposito watched by Graham and chased out. Over towards Collazo. Sentinels can't get to the red line as Hakala dumps it back in. Ponovanov got it all the way up to Esposito. He tips it off the glass and deep in Prowler territory. Oregon ahead to Hakala. Now Graham back to R2 Hakala. Skates in, makes a move, but had it poked neatly off his stick by Fields. Esposito for Pazika. Parsons is without a stick and he crunches Marian Pazika. Tossed out, Hakala and Terrain hustling after it. And Terrain throws a big check on R2 Hakala. Both teams finishing their checks. Craig fired a pass across, missed its intended target. No icing here as Parsons skates up with room. Off to James on the right wing side. Has help going to the net, sent it there, tipped past the goal. Grabbed by Indiana, it's Colarusso. 3 Prowlers waiting to meet him. And he held up just at the blue line enough to draw his team offside. 10:34 left to go in period 3. And there's the hard hit from Brian Parsons. When you're defending without a stick, it's all body. And Romeo Terrain got all body on R2 Hakala as well, going back up the ice. Shots in this game, 25-15 in favor of the Sentinels. 4-3 Prowlers, though, in this third period. R2 Hakala will be asked to take the face-off instead of Graham. Colarusso right in off the backboards. They dig away in the corner. Federley has the puck in his skates, and it's pulled out by Graham, but a penalty coming up against the Prowlers. Hooking the signal, and the fans don't like it. Well, it looks like their captain might be going back to the penalty box here. They say he got his stick in the midsection of Haggerty there. That is allegedly the penalty call. 4th power play of the game for Indiana. Prowlers have had 1. Ashton Collazo has his unit out there, and a good opportunity for Indiana to draw within a goal. Prowlers made the 2-goal comeback last night. Sentinels trying to return the favor, although this would be a 3-goal comeback for Indiana. Colarusso's shot blocked by Morick up high. Esposito. Colarusso has his stick up in the air. Dawson tried to force it that direction. Esposito back down low. Comes all the way around towards Johnson, and Price able to clear. 30 seconds gone in the penalty to Federley. Esposito drops it off for Collazo. Tried to make a dangle move in, but he lost the puck and Hakala got it out. Esposito back for Ponovanov. Indiana elects to start all the way back in its own end. Craig flies up with speed, cuts over to the right wing side. Enver Craig all the way around the net. Centered out in front, Pazika on the doorstep, shut down by Cooper. We'll take a timeout. Reed Cooper with another big stop. We'll be back here on the PHP Network. Pazika can't believe it.
Discover everything banking should be with Advia Credit Union, like earning real financial advantages. You can earn up to $1,000 with your new account. Plus, save an average of nearly $4,000 in interest when refinancing. Get started with a low-rate credit card balance transfer. Enjoy easy access to your money anytime, anywhere. Make the switch today at adviacu.org/real people. Advia Credit Union. Real advantages for real people.
Back here at McMorran Place, Prowlers still with that 3-1 lead on the Indiana Sentinels. Indiana with 49 seconds left on its 4th power play of the night. Reed Cooper, 25 saves so far. And he just made one of his biggest on Marian Pazika just before that break. Faceoff gets pushed back to Pavlov. Tries to step down the wall. Stops up, chased by Favaro. Craig across to Ponovanov. 2 Sentinels right in front of Cooper. They send it there. Lias blocked it. Turnaround try. Pops over top of the net. Esposito, Pavlov. Now Craig right at the top. Pavlov, Lias battling with Johnson right in the blue paint. Ponovanov. Craig floats it through, gloved by Cooper, and he's got a hold of Lias's stick as well. 10 seconds left until the Prowlers captain is allowed to step out of the sin bin. See Jonas Lias getting nice and close to Reed Cooper. Didn't seem to phase the Prowlers netminder. This face-off grabbed by Lockhart, and he'll skate with it. Lockhart slips through Craig. Lost the puck in the process. Federley out of the box. And we're back to 5-on-5 with just over 8 minutes left to go in regulation. Prowlers with a 2-goal lead. Esposito had it poked off his stick. Anderson or Parsons. They'll fire it ahead in James' direction. Terrain gets it the other way to Ponovanov. Poked away. Here comes DeCumbus. 1-on-1 against Terrain. Delays, plays it off the backboards. Price flying in, gets there first. 2 Sentinels on him. Anderson, Terrain trying to dig it out of the scrum. Anderson does, gets it to the point. Parsons tried to float it there. A whistle came just as Parsons let that shot go, and we have another penalty. Romeo Terrain is heading to the sin bin. Looks like we might have a Prowlers power play here as Terrain took down Bobby Price, cross-checking the signal. So the Prowlers with a chance with their 2nd power play of this game. They're 0 for 1. They can get a nice insurance goal here and put it in cruise control. Again, a goal here would be big for the Prowlers. Draw one back. Johnson sets up. Throws it back across the blue line. Federley and Lias get there together, and Federley swiped it over to Lockney. Back up high to Federley. Johnson, Higla battling right in front with Pavlov. Prowlers get moving. Johnson tried to slide it down low. That was blocked by Lias. Johnson once again. Lockney in the corner. Walks up, looks towards the net. Got it to Graham. In front. Puck's right at the top of the blue paint. Now swiped up high to Johnson. He takes a look. Down to Federley. Graham chased by Pavlov. Finds Lockney. Johnson straight on. Federley, head up, across, score! It caromed in And the Prowlers get a power play goal to make it 4-1. Let's see what that hit on the way through. May have been Graham, may have been Werber. Not sure who that hit right in front there, but I think Federley is looking to go across the seam to Lockney on the back door. If it is Austin Federley's goal, it's his 5th of the year, and make it a 2-point night for the Prowler captain. Parsons gets it up and out. And we'll see if the Prowlers can, again, just put this one in cruise control, as I said at the beginning of the power play. Fields. Slip past James as he passed it off to Dawson. And Colarusso bounced it out to Parsons. Anderson on for Bazal. Inside out move. Takes a look over his shoulder. Tried to cycle it down deep. Bazal take it into the boards. And down it goes to Anderson. Lockney and Johnson get the assists on the goal by Austin Federley. That makes it 4-1, and now a battle ensuing in the corner. Down below the goal line, Collazo and Anderson. Anderson right on top of Ashton Collazo. Arm was up in the air before the whistle blew. Parsons now has his hand on Colarusso. Anderson is definitely going to the box. We'll see if Collazo will join him. And now more. Colarusso and Parsons heated back up. Linesman in between trying to separate them. They get pried apart. We talked about how this was becoming a rivalry on Wednesday. That rang true last night, and it's continuing to ring true tonight. I want to take one more look back at that Prowler goal from Austin Federley and what it may have hit on the way through. Oh, it was Werber. Oh, it did hit John Werber. Now here's the start of the scrum. That's a one-leg takedown from Blake Anderson, if anyone's ever watched NCAA wrestling. Brian Parsons, by the way, has exited the game. He is off to the locker room. See, there's Parsons and Colarusso. Again, they heated right back up, and linesman had to come back in to separate them. That was David Fleming, the linesman, who got in between. Nolan Dawson and Austin Federley representing their squads at the referee circle. Two minutes are up on the Prowlers side, and now Colarusso is skating off to the locker room, followed closely by Doc Rick Powell. Federley and Dawson getting the explanations as we check in again on the Parsons-Colarusso disagreement. Looks like this will be an Indiana power play, as only 2 minutes up on the Port Huron side for Blake Anderson. Draw will be deep in the Prowlers' end. Fans enjoying themselves tonight. Their team looking like they're 5:43 away from their 7th straight win. Pavlov, D to Ponovanov. Fed it back across, Esposito, back pass, Pavlov, let it go. Didn't get all the way through. Cooper saving tight, still loose, and Cooper clips the glove on top. That puck was available for a couple of moments there. The original shot hit Favaro, got swept back on, and Cooper able to locate it and cover up. Well, Colarusso and Parsons each get 2 and 10s, while Anderson gets 2 minutes for his one-leg takedown. Esposito drops it off for Pavlov. All the way across to Ponovanov. Slips through. Most of a check from Lockhart, but not all. As Price able to turn it all the way down. Pavlov ahead to the red line. Gets to the Prowler blue. Sweeps it all the way around. Johnson gets there first. Dawson takes the puck from him. Dawson driving the cage. Quick shot, glove! Save, Cooper! Flashing the leather on Haggerty. How's that for a nice save? Cooper shows off the glove, and we will take one more timeout. 4:41 left to go here on the PHP Network.
Discover 1195 Gastropub in Marysville. Burgers, pizzas, apps, and pub favorites like filet mignon and grilled salmon. Open Monday to Friday, 4 to 9 p.m., weekends 12 to 9 p.m. Join us for happy hour, Monday to Thursday. Enjoy half-off bottles of wine every Wednesday, and don't miss Thirsty Thursday with $4 draft beers. Great food, cold drinks, good times. That's 1195 Gastro Pub.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
We invite you to tune into our next broadcast. That will be Friday, January the 16th. I know, a long time from now. I know you'll miss me. Don't worry, all these games are available anytime on the PHP Network YouTube channel. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. though for that one. Pregame show starts at 6:50. It's all right here on the PHP Network. Prowlers PK continues, and they get a quick clear right off the draw. And that was knocked down by a high stick of a Sentinel. So as they touch up back in their own end, it draws a whistle. 4.5 left to go, 48 seconds left on this Sentinels man advantage. Prowlers do not have a shorthanded goal yet this season. Them and the Twin City Thunderbirds, the only two teams in the FPHL with that distinction. Price working in deep, able to pull it out. Diving turnaround try by Morick. I don't think that got through to Werber. Colazzo slams on the brakes as he enters the offensive zone, but Federley bounces it just out. Now Federley with a toss into the offensive end. Werber up ahead to Craig. Denver Craig wheels in on the right wing side. And offsides are the Sentinels with 4:02 left to go. And still some time left on their power play. Vinny DeCumbus and Jonas Leas get the chance for this face-off. Pavlov chased by Bucell. He skates ahead, slams on the brakes and waits. Pass got to Terrain. Final seconds ticking down. Anderson steps out of the box. And we're back to even strength. A couple of Prowlers went tumbling behind the net. Dawson for Terrain. And he fanned as he tried to walk the blue line. Johnson looks ahead to Bazal. Now for Lockhart. Tried to go back to the left wing side, but Bucell was changing. James. Turning away from Dawson. Luke James starts up ice. Dumped it right off of a Sentinel. And now Dawson fires it all the way around. Devon Fields for Pazika. Sent in, Lockhart chasing after it behind his net. Under 3 minutes left to go. Prowlers with just 16 shots in this game, but they've scored 4 times. This is tied for the fewest shots on net the Prowlers have had in a game this season. Graham looking in front, got it to Heikola, who has to muscle the puck back from Pazika. Favaro with a drive, score! Tipped in by Matt Graham and make it a handful for the Prowlers. Nick Favaro took that shot, looking for a redirect, and he found it perfectly for Graham, who has his 14th goal of the season. And over this 6-game winning streak for the Prowlers, Graham scored the game-winning goal 3 times. He won't get the game winner tonight. He continues to be a leader offensively for these Prowlers. Onovanov chasing after the puck down in his own end. Pavlov taken in by Price. DeCumbus hustling to it, got there first, but Haggerty able to take it away. DeCumbus looking for Price, got it to him. Price mishandled the puck. Morgan and Favaro picking up the helpers on the goal by Graham. Prowlers are less than 2 minutes away from their 7th straight win. This 7-game winning streak immediately followed a 6-game losing skid. And that losing skid concluded with a sweep by these Indiana Sentinels against the Prowlers here in McMorran. But since then, the Prowlers have won every game they've played. Couple against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. We're now going to make it 3 against the Indiana Sentinels, and that sandwiches a successful trip to Danbury, where the Prowlers beat the Hat Tricks twice. Chris Paul has talked about how this team just takes everything day by day, game by game. Don't get too high, don't get too low. That's what keeps you going through a losing skid, and that's what keeps you grounded through a winning streak to make sure you're still doing what you need to do to continue getting those W's. Under a minute to go. Bucell, cross corner dump. Lockney heads after it along with Pavlov. The last 2 games, the Prowlers needed overtime against these Sentinels, but tonight, no extra hockey necessary. 20 seconds left. Pavlov. Play to an area. Dawson lost it. Graham takes a look at the clock. Gave it to Oregon. And he'll hang out behind his net. And the crowd lets their team hear it. It'll be a couple of weeks till they see him again. One last shot from Lockney goes wide. The Prowlers give them a victory. send them into the off week. 5-1 your final. Reed Cooper, 28 saves. His team got outshot. They gave him some offense down on the other end. The final shots in this game, 29-17 in favor of the Indiana Sentinels, but the Prowlers, with a great shooting percentage in the first period, got out to a 3-0 lead, and it was Reed Cooper's show from there. He gave a wave to the camera. Prowlers will salute their fans one last time again before the next time they're here in a couple of weeks, January the 16th. 7 straight for Port Huron. They pass the 50-point mark with their 10th win here at home this season. Stick around, of course, for the 3 stars of the game announcement, as well as our player of the game interview. And you'll also hear from Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin and much more. All that will be coming up on the post-game show. The Prowlers, again, able to come away with this one, a 5-1 win. Teams getting set to head off the ice, and Reed Cooper and Nolan Dawson, the former roommates at Curry College, which we've mentioned a few times, having a chat as they head off. Section 9's excited as we send it down to Austin Dunn, the PA announcer for the 3 stars.
The 3rd star of tonight's game from Port Huron. The 3rd star of tonight's game from Port Huron with 2 assists, number 23, Vincent DeCumbus. The 2nd star of tonight's game from Port Huron with 28 saves, number 33, Reed Cooper. The 1st star of tonight's game with 2 goals, number 29, Bobby Price.
Bobby Price announced as the 1st star, Reed Cooper the 2nd, and Vinny DeCumbus the 3rd star of the game here tonight.
Thank you, fans, for coming out tonight. We hope you enjoy.
Reed Cooper is our Gunther Graphics player of the game, although he's disappeared. We'll try and grab him so we can hear from him. And now we have Reed Cooper to chat with. Coop.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you up here.
All right, perfect.
Can you hear me? You got me?
I can.
All right.
I can.
28 saves for you tonight. Just take us through this game and, getting 7th straight win for your team.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have better than that, which is a great sign. I mean, we converted our chances tonight, but we were a little bit sloppy. But, good teams find a way, and 7 in a row feels good going into the little break we got here. So,
yeah, talk about going into that break. What are you looking forward to kind of reset a little bit and get a little bit of a rest?
Yeah, it'll be nice to get rest, hang out with the boys. A little relaxation, but not too much. We got to get ready for the second half of the season, so that's what we'll do.
Yeah, and again, 7 in a row for the team, but now 5 wins in a row for you. What's clicking for you between the pipes?
I think just consistency, doing the same thing every day. God's been huge in my life, so that, just consistency and trying my best every day.
Oh, thank you, Reed. Congratulations on the win tonight.
Thank you very much.
That was Reed Cooper after the 5-1 win over the Indiana Sentinels tonight here at McMorran Place. And we'll be right back. The post-game show is next here on the PHP Network.
Are you sick of asking somebody else to live your own life? I'm Josh with the Franchise Guys. If you're ready to quit your job or build your empire, I'll help you trim down my 800 franchise brand partnerships down to a few that fit you, fit your goals, and fit your budget. With options from senior care to airplane detailing, there's an opportunity for you. Owning a franchise can have up to a 90% success rate. That's better than job security. With the systems and support of a franchise, you won't be making all those costly mistakes as you would if you started your own business from scratch. And with options as low as $6,000 to get your own job-replacing business, there's no better option for you than to book a free call with me and my team. Visit GoFranchiseGuys.com. Stop dreaming about a better life and go live it.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. I'll take. Come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's the game plan. LJ, you start with bananas.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milkhouse gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milkhouse, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Prowlers!
Back here at McMorran Place, Prowlers defeat the Indiana Sentinels by a final score of 5-1. Let's take a look back through this one, goal by goal, as we start all the way back in the first. Early on, Tim Morgan's shot tipped home by Lucas Lockney, and the Prowlers, in less than 3 minutes in, a 1-0 lead. And for Lockney, that was his 7th goal of the year. Reed Cooper in between the pipes for the Prowlers. John Werber for the Sentinels. The same goaltending matchup as Wednesday night's game in Indiana that the Prowlers won in overtime. But there was a 1-0 lead for Port Huron less than 3 minutes in. A few minutes later, Bobby Price would get his first. After Vinny DeCumbis slipped through a check in the neutral zone, he found Price, and Price quickly to the forehand, able to tuck it home, and that made it 2-0 Prowlers at that point. They were not done in the first period. Price wasn't done in the first period. As that line struck again, DeCumbis out to Blake Anderson. Unselfish play, finding Price at the top of the blue paint for an easy tap-in goal. And that made it a 3-0 game. That's where it was through one period of play. Prowlers with 3 goals on 8 shots in the opening 20 minutes. But the Sentinels were able to dominate that second period, and they responded with a power play goal there from Ivan Ponavanov. They ripped it over the left shoulder of Reed Cooper, and the Sentinels outshot the Prowlers 12-3 in the middle frame, got the only goal of the period, and if it wasn't for Cooper, could have been more, and it could have been a much closer game heading into the third. But Cooper and the Prowlers clamped things down, and they would get some more insurance late. They killed off a couple of penalties. They got a power play of their own. And Austin Federley tried to make a pass across, ended up going off of Werber's skate and into the back of the net. Get a good look on the overhead, right off Werber's left skate. And Austin Federley, who had gotten his 250th career FPHL point with an assist on the game opening goal, picked up his second point of the night. Prowlers would get one more late as they continue to cycle the puck around. Nick Favaro would get a shot through. It was a shot pass for Matt Graham to deflect home. And that was the cherry on top for the fans here at McMorran Place, who came out and saw their Prowlers win their 7th straight game. Port Huron moves to 18-11-0, 52 points. They needed overtime the last 2 games, but this time they get it in regulation. Their 10th home win this season. And again, 7 wins in a row, a streak that comes immediately after a 6-game losing skid. So just the way that, just a great example of how the Prowlers are able to turn things around so quick and make people forget about that losing skid. And here they are with 7 wins in a row. Sentinels drop to 6-17-4 with 21 points. And they have now lost 4 in a row. They take a look at the final game stats from this one. Again, Prowlers outshot in this game 29-18 with the final shots. That was in favor of the Sentinels. Teams tied 7-7 in the third period. Both teams with a power play goal, and the Prowlers able to come away with this one opportunistic despite falling in the shots on goal department. Prowlers associate head coach Chris Paulin is standing by in the Prowlers tunnel. Coach, you don't get to stand next to me, but you might be able to ask your own questions tonight. 7 in a row for your club. I know the media likes to get caught up in those streaks, but what's the momentum like heading into this rest week?
Yeah, listen, well, we already talked about this. We don't focus on streaks, good or bad. We are trying to build championship habits, championship principles. I thought we took a step in the right direction this weekend. It was a good result, a lot to build on, a lot to improve upon. So we're excited. Boys will have some fun this weekend. And we got a lot of work to do next week. We got a bye week next weekend, so it'll be a good time to reflect and make sure we're dialed in on system structure. Should be some good battle days this week too, so we're looking forward to it.
Tell me about your goaltender, who has now won each of his last 5 starts.
he played very well tonight. He battled. I think we gave up some pretty good chances. I thought we've been doing a little bit better lately, keeping teams off the rush. We did not, especially in the second period tonight, and he made some unbelievable reads. Studies the game hard, practices hard. I think he's become a leader not only on the team but in the goalie room. He played a heck of a game for us and really didn't give them an inch when they had built some momentum. But Will, I want to turn it over to a guy right now, Brian Larson. He's our celebrity head coach tonight.
Yes.
He's an honorary head coach tonight. He did a heck of a job. He's actually coached me in a couple of these games before, led us to victory then, and he keeps it rolling, led us to victory tonight. So he had some dynamic speeches. He really got the boys fired up. So I want him to say a few words here. I'm going to turn it over to Brian.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we were hoping to talk to Brian at some point tonight, and I'm glad we finally are able to. Brian, our celebrity coach, another win for you as a celebrity coach. How did it feel?
It felt great. I'm so proud of these boys. They worked hard. They played hard. They've done an excellent job.
Tell me a little bit about what the Special Olympics mean to you and what this torch run night means to you every single year.
It means the world to me. It gives people with disabilities that can't really participate in actual Olympics, so they just modify it to make it easier for us.
Well, Brian, you might be coming for Chris Paulin's job if you keep getting wins. Congratulations on the victory tonight.
I don't want his jobs. Thank you.
All right, Brian Larson satisfied with his equipment manager position as his team picks up the victory tonight, 5-1 over the Indiana Sentinels. Let's take a look at our Gunther Graphics player of the game. It was Reed Cooper, 28 saves tonight for Coop. He has won 5 starts in a row, and he is on fire as much as his team is on fire, as he played very, very well. You heard from Prowlers associate head coach Chris Paulin talking about how much Cooper has become a leader in that locker room, in that goalie room as well. And he's helping along a couple of rookies in Bailey Huber and Jamison Bork. Well, when we come back, we will take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard and wrap this one up. Prowlers with a 5-1 win. We'll be back here on the PHP Network.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Hello, I'm home.
There he is. What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack wrap is back.
Will Wiggleman back one final time here to McMorran Place. Prowlers take down the Indiana Sentinels 5-1 in their final game ahead of a little bye week coming up. A little rest and relaxation for the Prowlers. Let's take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. And we start with the Blue Ridge Bobcats taking down the Twin City Thunderbirds 3-2 in Winston-Salem. Dustin Gesso scored the only goal of the third period, his first goal as a Bobcat. The Hat-Tricks not going home empty-handed after dropping the first two against the Ice Cats this week. They defeat PD tonight by a final of 5-3. As they got 3 second period goals, 4 helpers for Noah Robinson to lead the way for the visitors. Black Bears looking to finish off the Watertown Wolves. They are up 6-2 right now in Watertown. CJ Stubbs has a pair for Binghamton. They're looking to avenge the loss last night to the Wolves. Rock Lobsters all over the Zydeco, 40 minutes down in Baton Rouge. It is 4-0 in favor of Athens. Moccasins have taken the lead on the Columbus River Dragons. Hagen Moe and Dean Balsamo with second period goals. It's 2-1 Mocs heading into the third. Finally, the Scarecrows up big on Biloxi, 5-2 in period number 3 in Mississippi. 5 different goal scorers for the Scarecrows, including Trevor Graspy, one of their newer acquisitions. And of course, here the Prowlers take down the Sentinels 5-1. Use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours. That's going to do it for us here on the PHP Network. Plenty of thanks to go around to the entire crew. Christian Jackson was our technical director. Reagan Hayden was running the graphics. On the cameras tonight, Brendan Kaminsky, Elizabeth Sullivan, Paul Campbell, Damian Pollock, and Aiden Bricker. For the entire crew, my name is Will Wiggleman. We'll see you in a couple of weeks when the Prowlers host these Danbury Hat-Tricks here at McMorran Place. That puck drop scheduled for 7:05 p.m. But if you want to see the Prowlers before then, we have the Coaches Show coming up on Wednesday. And then tomorrow afternoon, Prowlers will be at the Exhibit Cannabis Shop for a meet and greet. So you can see them there for pictures and autographs and just to hang out. It was a fun one here tonight at McMorran Place. A great weekend at McMorran Place. Couple of electric crowds. We want you to be part of the next one. That game against the Hat-Tricks is Dalton Jay's jersey retirement night. So we are excited to have that one and be here for the first time the Prowlers ever retire a jersey number in franchise history. Again, 7:05 p.m. puck drop. Get your tickets at phprowlers.com. One more time for the entire crew. My name is Will Wiggleman, and we will see you next time here on the PHP Network.